Hello, Victoria Cochrane here. Wednesday, the something or other, 2nd, is it, of October? I'm hopeless with dates sometimes. Welcome to the Spiritual Wisdom Hour with me, Victoria Cochrane. I'm in sunny northwest Tasmania today in the town of Wynyard, and great to have people jumping on board. Hope you're all well. Hi Susie, great to see you. And Janelle, sorry I didn't get to you last night, Janelle, but hope you're well. So today I am winging it a bit. Hi Jeanette, lovely to see you too. Fantastic. Yes, right back at you, beautiful lady. Such a great honour this week. I've done a couple of live pop-up psychics. Hi Kaz, great to see you yesterday. Bridgie, oh, so lovely to be reconnecting with you all. That's lovely, thank you. Yesterday, which was wonderful, and so great to be back online this morning. Afternoon now, actually. And so today I did have a thought that I would just talk about spiritual disconnection and how it can cause so many problems in the world, and ways that we can feel connected and the need to connect, because we're all spiritual beings who are intrinsically connected to the all. And living on earth in a physical body can really cause us to feel separate and disconnected, and it can cause a lot of problems. And so we'll definitely try and do a really lovely meditation to ground and feel connected to the all, and then also do a collective card reading and just answer questions for people who might have some questions about spiritual development, or I'm sorry, I can't do individual readings here. It was great that I will do a lot more pop-up psychics, I hope, with Sarah, because it was great that she could scroll through all the messages. I was reading through them this morning, and I find that really difficult actually, to kind of read everybody's requests and then try to focus in on someone. Hi Kate, lovely to see you too. It's really great that people look forward to jumping on and seeing me, and I love that interaction and connection. So please do ask questions about development. I can't actually answer personal questions, but there's a lot of questions that people ask that actually help a lot of other people. So let's jump into that. So today I'm talking about connection and how we can feel so disconnected. And as human beings, we need to feel that we belong. Belonging is our intrinsic need to feel that we are just as important as other people and that we belong. And when we do feel isolated and disconnected from people, it can cause depression, and it can cause a lot of other issues as well. I had a lady come to me once, and she became a really dear friend, and she passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. But she really wanted to give up smoking, and she had tried everything. But I found that she was disconnected. She just felt a sense of disconnection from herself, from other people, because she'd lived on her own a long time, and from Source. The source of creation, which is the creator. And I've talked before about how this is not religion, because in fact, not to get too far into it, but religion does try to teach us that, sorry, just dropped out for a minute, but we're back, thankfully. And that's not the case. We are one. We are all one and connected. So that in the energy of ascension, which is the 5th dimension, we know that we're all connected and we're all one, and that no one is less important than anyone else. That is amazing. Well done, Kate. The other day I felt I had a UTI and I balanced my chakra and it went away very quickly. Fantastic. So any dis-ease is a sign of imbalance, isn't it, in the body or bodies, because we have 4 bodies. So not just that it shows up in the physical body, but the chakras then deal with all the bodies, the emotional, mental and spiritual bodies as well. So that is fantastic. That is really great. Oh wow, that's such a great question, Tammy. Are there techniques to tap into your own spiritual awakening? Yes. So I'm just going to finish what I was talking about and then we'll go into that, to open up your 7th sense. Oh, how exciting. Such a great question. Okay, so my friend was very disconnected, and so when I connected her to the unconditional love of the Creator, which is the source of creation, or God, but we're all connected. We all come from source, and that's, we only know unconditional love. We're all ethereal beings having a human experience. So, and she could actually remember her birth. And actually, just to sideline, hi Anna, birth is can give babies a really deep felt sense of disconnection, because they've been in the womb and then they come out and suddenly they're in this big wide foreign world. And you know, a lot of babies, if they're really unsettled, it's possibly that they don't feel connected even though you're cuddling them or whatever. And so re-establishing that connection to the unconditional love of the Creator, we all need it, whether we're religious or not, whoever we are. We all need to feel connected to really know that unconditional love, because let's face it, most humans love conditionally, not unconditionally. So anyway, re-established that, and she gave up smoking. And she didn't smoke until she was very sick with cancer, and then she was kind of like, what the heck, you know. But it really did help her. Also, disconnection is, you know, it's that void that we don't know is there. We don't know what it is, and we try to fill it with alcohol and drugs and maybe sex or cigarettes or whatever, to try and make ourselves feel better and to feel a part of things. But to be connected to the Creator is also to be connected to ourselves and to love ourselves, and that connection to self-love, to actually love and accept ourselves, is the most important thing. We can believe in God and we can feel that we're connected, but if we don't really know what love feels like, if we don't feel that for ourselves, then it's very difficult to feel connected to the all or to other people, or to feel that we're worthy of being connected to, you know. So I've often said the saviour of the world is to love and accept ourselves. So in answer to Tammy's question, the very first step of to tap into our own awakening, and it's happening for everybody, is to ensure that we are, is to tap into our self-worth and how we feel about ourselves. Because if we don't feel that we're worthy, then we won't feel that we're worthy of awakening, or that we're worthy of being a light worker or anything. So the very first step, guys, is to work on, check in on how you feel about yourself. So once you've done that, and knowing that you're connected, meditation's a really good thing to get into, because then you can start to align all your chakras. So I picked some cards before, just working on, and I just want to go through these cards because they all just really address all of that, what I've just talked about. So the first one, reconnection. And these are the Healing Energy cards by Leanne Peters. Clear all separation and disconnection issues that are affecting you now. Crown chakra opening, bridging illusions of fear with love. Look beyond the physical. And actually what I might do for all of you guys today is to actually do something that I did with a client that I had in here this morning, to work on each chakra and the negative issues there, and just to resolve all the discordant energy and to bring in the healing for those. And so that's what I think we'll do. So it's really important, you know, this card says to me that we're not necessarily a blank canvas, but we're co-creators. You know, we co-create and we create our own reality. So we all start off just intrinsically knowing that we're connected and loved, and then, you know, the world kind of can muck that up pretty badly. And so it's just about knowing that all there is love. The whole universe is built on unconditional love. That's all there is. And so if we invest in the fear, and if we invest in the illusions that we're separate and that of what other people might tell us, then that all there is the physical, then we're really grounded in the third dimension, which is very dense energy. And I often show this picture on my first book that was drawn by my beautiful friend Renee, and that's what it looks like. That's what a lot of people live in, fear. You know, politicians, global corporations, they all try to keep us in fear so that they can control with money and, you know, control us. But when we start to feel loved and worthy, and transmute all our past lifetimes and all our fear and trauma and everything, and bring in start to think from our soul self rather than our ego, then it all changes. And it's just our perspective. I mean, this is always going to be here, always. It's not going to go away. But the more that we can rise above that and know that we can be impervious to evil, and we can actually live in oneness rather than duality, that with being united in love can actually make such a better world for all of us, then the world changes and this has no power anymore. The next card, which is really important, is inner child. And a lot of what we're going through stems from how we felt about ourselves as children, and how we were treated, and how we were loved or not loved, and really starting to heal all those deep wounds from our childhood of not feeling good enough, of not feeling that we belong, of not feeling that we're worthy. We can't really fully awaken or step into our power to help other people like I'm doing unless we've worked on this stuff. And I've still got stuff. I'm still working on stuff. It's a work in progress. You can't ever say that you've done it and you've ascended, and because it is. It's a definite work in progress. But it's very, very important to really let go of old wounds and bring in forgiveness through your crown, like this beautiful chart behind me, and actually allow your inner child to come out and play and be healed, and to explore and bring in the truth. You see, as children, things feel different, look different. Our reality is different as children. And so sometimes when I say to clients, you know, this is what I'm seeing as the base of your trauma, they'll say, really? But I'll say, well, you know, to you it's not important now, but as a child it was really important, and it's shaped that perception that you have of yourself. And so it's very important to do that. The last card that I pulled before coming live was the merging of heaven on earth. And so can you see, this is just perfect. This just tells me that you need to love yourself and be fully aligned to your divine blueprint, and to fully accept yourself as a loving, divine, light being, hi Donna, great to see you, before you can then step into loving other people and really knowing what it feels like to be in a beautiful union. And you still might have a beautiful, like I found my husband at 23, but he's really helped me to really step in my stuff and to feel that I'm worthy. And so he was the one to help me, but it was all built on this beautiful premise that we are all one and that we're all loved unconditionally. So not pulling individual cards, Donna, sorry, not in this session. This is my wisdom hour, but I do hope to do more pop-up psychics, and I definitely would love to do individual readings for people if you would like to book through Sarah. The merging of heaven on earth, the manifestation of ideas into reality. And also, you know, last week when I was at my sister's place, I talked about the balance of masculine and feminine, and so it's very important, you know, to feel that we are worthy enough to be an equal partner in a relationship, and not to feel that we have to allow someone else to dominate us, whether we're male or female. No, not doing individual cards, sorry, just collective readings today, and just talking about how we can move from feeling disconnected and separate to feeling really connected and to be stepping into our spiritual awakening. The next card I pulled was from another deck, and this is from the chakra reading cards, and I loved this because this is Angels and Masters, and it's from the Soul Star. So when we meditate, when we start to accept that there's more beyond the physical body, and that that we are all psychic, that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we're all divinely guided, then our guides will come in. And we all have particular guides and masters and archangels with us, but we can call in anyone. But as I've always talked about before, it's so important to know who you're talking to, not to just call in spirit, because if we're talking to spirit guides, we're dealing in shamanism, and that is separatism. It's angels work in duality as well, but they're much more, I will trust them a lot more. But also, we just always tell them that you're working in the unconditional love of the Creator, and that sacrifice is not in your vocabulary, and that you're working always for your greatest good, not just the greater good. And I have talked about that before. But when you do that, they can really help us to feel connected, and to they start to, the more that we practice and the more that we feel connected to our guides and trust them and ask for help, then the more light they'll bring in, the more guidance they'll give us, the more tuned in we'll be, and psychicness will develop. So I want to just show this card again, because there are masters, they're evolved beings who've lived many lives on earth, who have achieved mastery, and they're in spirit, but they can actually reincarnate. And so a lot of us have an aspect of a master's soul in us, which guides us to strive for our own mastery. Angels and archangels haven't lived lives on earth apart from Xenophon and Metatron, so they are omnipotent beings, and they are messengers of God, and they are all pure energy who are striving for the fight of light over darkness, but in the energy of oneness, which is the energy of the Creator. There's no duality. So it's just a gradient or a journey towards bringing in our own light body and reconnecting with the light. We are. And what this is saying is that these 7 rays, we have like 360 chakras or something ridiculous, like amazing amount of chakras. But these 7 chakras and then our 5 galactic chakras are all connected to masters and archangels. They're connected to different parts of the body. So this is the best guide ever. I don't know if any of you have this, but the chakra guide, it tells you what every chakra is connected to, and the disorders that can come when they're out of balance, and how to put them back into balance. On the back it says unblocking chakras with food and herbs. You can get these from health food shops, bookshops sometimes. Fantastic to have. Unblocking chakras with aromatherapy. I don't know if you've ever seen my aromatherapy collection, but this is just, I don't know if I can show you. Where am I? No, down here. Oh, yeah, a serious collection down there. I love my aromatherapy. Unblocking chakras with crystals and chakra mudras. So you can actually do a hand. So there's lots of different ways. And our chakras are really seriously important for keeping us in balance. So coming back to the question, checking in on yourself. Do you feel worthy? Is there work to do on your self-love and acceptance? Do you meditate? How good are you at clearing your mind and just getting yourself into a light meditative state, or a meditative state where you're more receptive? Are you working on, love it, that's awesome. Are you working on keeping yourself clear, keeping grounded? These are all the basic steps before we're even really doing serious ascension work. These are all basic steps on being really receptive and open channels for the energy that the masters and archangels and the creator would love to bring in for us. Because the more people who work on themselves and are open to awakening, the more people can help to bring in the light and love that's so important to bring us from here to here. So we're definitely going to do a chakra balance, and so we can call in the masters to do it, but what I did for my client today was to, she had a lot of issues down. We basically mostly have issues down in our 3 bottom chakras, because that is to do with the base chakra is how we feel about ourselves, whether we're in our power or not, if we're grounded, do we feel secure, safe and secure. Janelle says, love it. Lorraine says, I've been working on myself for as long as I can remember. And it's always a work in progress, Lorraine, but the more you work on yourself and the more you let go, the more the masters can bring in. And so it's about acknowledging that you have guides, even if you don't know who they are, and giving them permission to help you to awaken in the highest and best way. Because some people find it really scary to suddenly have these psychic gifts opening up, and so it's good if you are going through a bit of an awakening. I can give you tips on how to kind of tune into it, but really working with your archangels and masters, that's why that card came out, to really get them to help you to bring you back into balance, and to be doing it daily. It's not just, I might just do it once a week when Victoria's on. It's every day that we need to be aware of ourselves as spiritual beings having an impact on the world. And if we're out of balance, then that's what we're sending out to the human collective consciousness and just adding to the problem. So if I'm feeling out of balance, I'll bring up the violet flame, and I just did that the other day, and it transmutes it straight away. And just awareness is power, And then awareness brings in the knowledge, and that brings in more power. And the more empowered we are to be working on ourselves and to be really striving to be the best we can be, that goes out to the world. Oh my goodness, and what a change it can be. So let's do some work on our chakras then. So this guide, and also see when the masters work on us, it's whether you let them or not, Sonia. Sonia says, how about negative people around you? There's always going to be negative people and people who don't agree with you, but it's how you expend your energy and what you deign to tell them, really, and just about really protecting your energy from them and not allowing them to disempower you. And so that comes back to how you feel about yourself, and how awakened you are, I guess. I don't know if I've said that right. Some people are really, their negativity is like you can literally feel it, see it, cut it with a knife, and they're good people to cut from your life, really, because we don't need people like that to but if they're undoing all your good work, then nice to meet you too, Katerina. Thank you for being on and for listening. You can only ever work on self. They've got their own journey, long one, longer than, and so how the thing to think about it, if it's disrupting your spiritual awakening and bringing you down to their level, you've got a lot more work to do on strengthening your ability to connect. So it's like you're disconnected, and that's why I wanted to talk about disconnection, because it can just rattle us so much. We can get dragged down into the drama, the ego, the terrorism, the politics, the crap so easily. If the less connected we are to our own selves and to the Creator and to our guides, the more easily we'll be dragged down. And so the more connected we feel, the more light will come in, the higher our consciousness will be, the higher our vibration. So like attracts like, pretty much. So if that's happening, then really work on yourself, cut them out as much as you can, white light yourself to the hilt before you, if you have, because if they're family, sometimes you just have to be with them, but it is about really working on yourself. Can't work on anyone else, only yourself. So the base chakra is physical identity, self-preservation, survival and basic needs. Yoga Nidra to help me remember. A lot of people find yoga really good. Yoga's kind of not, you're welcome, Sonia. Yoga is kind of not my thing, but for a lot of people they find that really helpful. So whatever works, whatever works for you is where to go. And there are going to be life is, we can't always keep ourselves in a bubble, can we? But we can energetically always ground ourselves. So I would breathe my energy down, make sure I'm grounded into Mother Earth, breathe the energy up and connect all my chakras right up to the Creator. And connecting to the Creator is so important because it brings us into that unconditional love. So therefore, we're not working in any conditional vows and commitments of other planes. So that's the strongest protection. Bring that light around you. But if you don't know how to do that, just hold the intention, because with intent it is. Just hold the intention that you're protected in the unconditional love of the Creator. And if you do need to put mirrors around you, you can ask for that. Don't project, never project it back to the person. Always send it up to God's light, always. If you send back, then you're activating the wheel of karma, really. So particularly if you've got nasty people projecting stuff at you, if you do that to them, then you're just the same as them. You need to project it up to the Creator and just ask for that extra protection. So it's about believing that we are always connected and protected, and that we are powerful creators and powerful manifestors, and that nothing is, that we don't have to live in restricted, we don't have to put up with stuff that other people are dumping on us. So it's about reclaiming our power, really. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for an unconditional love. See how I always ask for an unconditional love healing? That puts us in the energy of the Creator straight away. So you're all protected in the beautiful unconditional white light of the Creator. And I'm actually going to go through this chakra chart and just ask for an unconditional love balance on all of your chakras today to harmonize and to transmute all discordant energy that has been built up over your soul's lifetimes and through different soul fragments, and bring that all into oneness and harmony, and to be aligned to your divine blueprint and to your higher self, and ask for that in the highest and best way, with divine ease and grace. And just close your eyes. And so what I was saying was each chakra has particular sacred geometry in it, and the masters use sacred geometry to balance and align and clear your chakras, and then to bring higher light in according to how much light's already in there. So I'm just going to call in who's working with us today, and it's Metatron. Perfect, because Metatron can, well, everyone, they all can, but Metatron can actually ensure that each one of you is receiving the energy that you need. And I've asked for everything for everyone's highest and best. So if you close your eyes and just concentrate on your base chakra, on the colour red, and holding the intention and giving permission for the release of all discordant energy and healing, and bringing yourself back into balance. So changing survival instinct into embracing life, changing self-doubt, and changing, making sure you're in your I am presence, perfectly grounded, and with an uncomplicated connection to all things physical. And did you know that the associated animal to the base chakra is the elephant? The associated element, of course, is earth. The associated seed, syllable, and mantra is lamb. The associated essential oil is cedar. The deity is Ganesh. The metal is lead, and the associated sense is smell. And the associated crystal is all red gemstones, especially ruby. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some energy. Someone's got some stuck energy, so there we go. Lots of positive, oh, lovely expanded energy going in now. So this is in your base chakra. A balanced root chakra creates a solid foundation for the 6 chakras above. Anxiety, nightmares, and sudden fear are indicators of an unbalanced root chakra. And this is all going towards making you more aware of yourself in spirit, connecting you to the all, to source of creation, and allowing your awakening to accelerate. That's a grounding symbol. And now we're finishing on the base chakra. So moving up now to the sacral chakra, which is orange. So using orange energy to bring us out of ego and to shift the discordant energies of the inability to express emotions, to be self-centered, to be in self-doubt, and it can also translate into tension, inner conflict, sexual problems and instability. So now we're doing a grounding after doing a bit of a balance. I'll just hold it up so you can see it if you want to watch. Signs of harmony of a sacral chakra are balanced and easygoing, healthy relationships, able to see things from a high perspective, I would say, not stuck in one's own ego. The associated crystal is moonstone. Associated musical note is D, and that makes sense because with the base chakra it was C. The planets are Mercury and the moon. The element is water. Associated seed symbol and mantra, that's a flower of life, that is VAM. Associated aroma is jasmine. So if you're having trouble with your sacral chakra, jasmine is the thing. The deity is Vishnu, the metal is tin, and the associated sense is taste. Okay, so going to our solar plexus chakra, which is yellow. That's your belly button chakra. And the body parts, digestive system, pancreas and metabolism. Instinct, willpower, sense of self-confidence, personal warmth. And so a lot of our childhood issues are stuck in our solar plexus. So holding that up for you to see. Balancing suggestion, healthy diet, healthy eating habits and rest. If you have anxiety, restlessness or dissatisfaction, could be in your solar plexus. Associated crystals, citrine, golden feldspar, imperial topaz. And the associated musical note is E. Heavenly bodies, Sun and Mars. Associated element, fire. And associated seed syllable and mantra, Ram. Sandalwood. The deities, Lakini and Rudra. The metal is iron, and the sense is sight. So let's have a nice grounding, nice positive energy going in. Okay, how are you all feeling? Just going to ask that the energies are consolidated. Very good. Moving to the heart chakra. So when we're completely balanced and starting to awaken and are really starting to stand in our power, then our solar power center is our heart down to our solar plexus. And they actually merge, and then we can be heart-centered but also strong in our sense of self and our security and our confidence in ourselves and empowered. So the heart chakra is symbolized by a lotus flower with 12 petals and relates to the color green. So focusing on the color green and asking Metatron now to balance and align and heal discordant energy from our heart chakras. And ways to keep it clear are to bring in forgiveness, to practice kindness and acceptance of self and others. And signs of harmony will be when you have a warm feeling of love, harmony and connection, feeling of connection. And this is polarity, where it's just aligning the 3 chakras that we've done and the heart chakra. Taking out negative energy and bringing in positive now. And doing a really nice ascension chakra symbol there. Beautiful. The associated crystals for the heart chakra are emerald, moss agate, green aventurine, jade and peridot. Associated musical note is F. Planet Venus, the element is air. The mantra is Yam. The associated aroma is rose. The deity is Krishna. Metal is copper and the sense is touch. Now we're to the throat chakra, which is about communication, speaking our truth, feeling heard, expression and communication. And Metatron is putting in a nice balancing energy here. Actually, it's an alignment because it's going up and down. So the balancing suggestion is singing, humming, listening to music and nature. I hum all the time. In fact, I was humming while watching the AFL Grand Final the other day. I can answer questions, Kay, on spiritual development, but not personal readings. But if it's going to help other people, by all means. So I hum all the time. So I figured that that's my way of keeping myself in balance. I do it without even thinking, and I hum things that sometimes I'm humming hymns and or Christmas carols or things like that, and I just kind of think, well, that's my instinctual nature, clairaudience too, of just keeping everything in balance. We're doing a bit of a grounding here. And a flower of life activation. No, something different, something stuck. Nice, that's grounding. So if you do have a lot of throat issues, then it's a good thing to think about. Do you feel heard? Do you have trouble speaking up? It might be in just a particular situation, like at work or with a partner or with a friend or whatever. But there's some block there to being able to express yourself and to communicate clearly. So the associated crystals are aquamarine, lapis lazuli, larimar, blue topaz. The musical note is G, so you could hit on the G and just try humming that. Mercury is the planet, the element is space, the mantra is Ham, the aroma is sage, so you could get some sage and just put that with don't use it neat, just use it with a carrier oil. The deity is Sakini, the metal is mercury, and the sense is sound. So toning is very good for clearing and balancing out all your chakras, but if you're having a lot of trouble with your throat, and do it, just tone and bring it in. And it says a blocked throat chakra may express itself in lack of verbal control, inability to listen, excessive fear of speaking, telling lies, and extreme shyness. Okay, up to the third eye now, which is indigo. And this is not just about seeing or clairvoyance, it's also about clarity, perception, intuition, sixth sense, and inner knowledge, and trusting our inner knowledge. So just going to do a balance on your third eye. Now if you're getting a headache or anything like that, it should pass as it balances. Okay, make sure you're hydrated. If you're not, go get some water. This will still work. Signs of imbalance are headaches, poor eyesight, excessive forgetfulness. Balancing suggestion: meditation, sitting in the sunshine and bright light. Concentration difficulties, confusion, fear. The signs of harmony: clarity of mind, sixth sense, and knowledge. And the associated element is all elements and light. I am also, what does that mean, Kay? Sorry, I'm not sure what that means. But oh, that's a good question. Yes, I'm answering questions like that for sure. I'm always blocked around my lungs. Is there a blockage there? Yes. The lungs generally hold grief. So if it's fear and grief, so yeah, if you've got something in the past that's it would be something in the past in your lungs. So it's, and also it's the element of air. So let me just ask Metatron. For all those who are holding grief, let's do it over the heart chakra before we get to the crown. So this is for the lungs and for grief. And just asking for anyone with lung problems or expressive problems to lift the grief. So there's a lot of positive energy going in. And a beautiful kind of, that's more than a star, that's like a sacred geometry circle. No, so this is sacred geometry when it does circles. So clockwise is positive energy, anti-clockwise is negative energy. So I'll just show you in a minute, Lorraine. There's a whole lot of different symbols they use. So mostly, so this one here is a flower of life. So it's doing 4 little circles in a flower, and that's an activation of light towards bringing in your light body. So a lot of light language coming through for me now. Thanks, beautiful. So happy. I hope that happened for other people. So generally, the most basic is just that's clockwise, that's positive energy in, negative energy out. But if I could ask Metatron to show us a balance, so it goes across like it's doing an aura sweep. See, I'm not moving my hand, so he's doing it for me. And then he'll go around, I hope, in positive. So that's balancing the energy in the chakra. And then it'll go around positive. So it's balancing the positive and negative, the masculine and feminine. Thank you. Yeah, but I'll show you. But then an alignment will go that way, and it'll go positive and negative. But there's then the flower of life, please, does 4 little loops like a little flower, and that's an activation. Then there are stars. So there's like a 6-pointed star, 8-pointed star. So the more points there are, the higher the light activation. So it all is bringing in higher light, which will then bring in higher consciousness. So then it's going, this is an 8-pointed star actually that he's doing, and then it'll do a circle to get itself around to the other side. And a grounding is just when the person isn't grounded into their chakra, it will just go that way, then across, and back the other way. And then there are lots of higher symbols that bring in, so the more complicated the symbol, the higher the light activation, and that actually brings in more awareness. So that is actually activating your spiritual awareness and your light body, which is your etheric body, which is the crystalline body. Then that puts you onto, like, connects you to the crystalline grid, light workers grid, but it also connects you to the crystalline heart of Mother Earth. So it's all about that higher energy, and that's bringing in oneness, because when we're all connected, then we're all sending that love and whatever. Okay, that's great. So always know who you're talking to. Always, when you're using a pendulum, connect to the highest source of energy, which is the Creator. Call in a master or a guide and know exactly who you're talking to, so that you're not bringing any Tom, Dick and Harry who were convicts in Port Arthur or something, and that you're getting the highest and best information and energy coming through. Okay, and then just trust. Some people can pick up a pendulum like me and just get it to work. Other people, it takes a while. I recommend when you buy a pendulum, hold it and, you know, put your energy right into it and become attuned to it. But now I can pick up anything and just do it, because I know that it's Archangel Michael working through me or whatever. So it's just, pendulum's a great tool, but it's just a tool, and it's only as good as the connection that you have. So make sure that you've got a strong connection with whomever you're working with. It's not coming from you, okay? It's coming from whoever you've called in. Okay, let's do the crown chakra for everybody now. So this is our 7th ray. This is the beautiful one that's behind me. It's the chakra of pure consciousness, symbolized by a lotus with 1,000 petals and represented by the color violet, which is also connected to the violet ray. Wow, that's fantastic, Lorraine. Wow, just connect to your guide and you'll be fine. So it's on the crown, self-realization, absolute unity, oneness, mystical oneness with totality, finite and infinite. It's pituitary gland, pineal gland, upper part of the brain. So if you've got, if you're disconnected, it can lead to depression, listlessness and loss of faith. But if you're very connected, it's you bring your inner peace and profound spiritual equanimity and total feeling of bliss and unconditional love and connection. So here we go. This is an alignment, so aligning your crown chakra with all your other chakras. It's time. Doing a kind of a grounding. Now it's taking out negative energy. It is collective, Perla, doing it for everybody. Hopefully you're feeling it. It's for everybody. Lovely to see you, by the way. Okay. I just feel like I need to collate that. Here we go. Sometimes just pulling stuck energy will just really help with the intensity of the energy. Welcome, Martha and Perla. Okay, now while you're all there, we've just done the 7 chakras. I'm just going to ask Metatron now to align and balance all our bodies and to bring all our bodies up into the one dimension, so we're not scattered over dimensions, into the level of the, to the highest and best level of the upper 4th to 5th, lower 5th dimension, or to the best dimension for each person, with divine ease and grace, to integrate all the healing through all our chakras in every time, place and dimension. And just going to ask now for the violet flame to come up. So if you still feel some discordant energy, just with the flame coming up, just dump anything you need to, any pain, any heartache, any grief, anything that doesn't feel right into it, and just see it spark off as golden light, and then it's out of your body. I'm holding it up for the collective, for everybody. And now imagine this beautiful light coming through your crown and coming right down, and it's grounding you right down into Mother Earth, connecting you to the crystalline heart, diamond core of Mother Earth, and coming back up, right up, connecting you to the light and love of the Creator. And coming back down and centering into your heart space. And just feel that beautiful energy. You're grounded, centered, balanced and aligned. And just with the violet flame around you, just holding the intention that any traces of discordant energy from your soul be released and transmuted and harmonized, and then reintegrated into your soul in the highest and best way. Always asking for your highest and best. And there we go. So So I hope that was really nice for people. But if you can get one of these charts, I highly recommend them, because the chakra, what we've done, we haven't just balanced your chakras, we've actually raised your vibrations to a higher consciousness. And what it talks about here is that the chakras are the gateways to consciousness. Just going to have some more water. The Sanskrit word chakra means wheel or disc or wheel of light, referring to energy points or nodes in the subtle body. The chakras appear as wheel-like vortices of pure energy. They spin at great speed, and in a deeply spiritual person they may become spheres of radiant light energy. And once you've got them to a certain frequency, they're all aligned and all connected, so you've just got this beam of light down to Mother Earth, up to the Creator, and so you'll find that you are much more able to think globally, to judge less, and to love a lot more, and to see things from a much higher perspective. Each chakra has its own purpose, association and connection, representing different levels of consciousness. Chakras are usually depicted as the lotus flower. Yes, it's normal. Well, it's great that you have tingles throughout your body, because that means it's shifting energy. So any kind of healing like this, energy healing or theta healing or anything that you have, is shifting negative to positive. It's releasing toxins out of your body. Tammy, I hope that's kind of given you a bit of an insight into what we can do. That's good. So it is about really keeping yourself as clear as you can, so that the ascension can occur. The crown chakra, also called the 1,000-petaled lotus, has the highest frequency. The 7 chakras are positioned along the spinal column. They play an important role in the spiritual, emotional, intellectual and physical levels, and there are bodies. We have 4 bodies, there's 4 levels. So the higher the light, the faster they're spinning, the higher our consciousness and the higher dimension that we're working in. So very, very important. The pendulum activation is just one way of doing it, but there are lots of different ways. Reiki is beautiful for balancing and bringing in higher light. There's yoga, I'm sure. There are lots of different ways. Tai Chi, anything where you're putting beautiful balanced energy in, toning, goodness, there's so many different ways. But meditation and just allowing your body to be and bringing yourself back to you, using the breath, using the element of air to breathe out toxins and to breathe out all of that, and to breathe in light and love. It's all so important, guys, so important. If you're interested in my books, I'll just do a little plug. They're available. Don't go to my website. I haven't changed the price of them yet. But they're $10 each, and there are these two are $10. They kind of go together. And then I've got one about other worlds, and that's $14. You can get them, write to me and I'll send them to you at the price, sign them for you even. Or you can get them off booksellers. But the masters just give beautiful positive messages. Talks about the light body a lot. So the light body is very important, and that's what we're doing every time we're putting in light. We're bringing in higher light to activate our crystalline body. I also have a channelings blog. That's victoriacochran44.com, and I put up a new channeling yesterday. I'm not doing it as often. I'm trying to write my book, but that's kind of not happening. It is, but it's slow. So love to you all, and so great to connect. I hope this has been helpful for a lot of people. Just holding the intention of just bringing in higher light and giving permission for your master and archangel who's working with you to do that is a really good thing. Love and blessings to you all. If you would like an individual reading, please contact Sarah at Spiritual Events Directory. My Facebook page is Reaching Out Spiritual News, so you can find me on Facebook. My website is victoriacochrane.com. I have a couple of podcasts that I did with Anna Anderson from Quantum Living. Very excited about those, so you can find out my story if you listen to that. And I look forward to seeing you at the same time next week. Thanks, Janelle. Love to you too. Bye.